Hello friends, I'm back with another set of a very important grammar usage which is becoming a part of our everyday usage. We've heard, the environmentalists, all people saying let's go green, let's save environment, and the very important initiative towards this is save paper, because paper is made out of trees. So for that, now we are professionally as well as privately, personally using email as a way of communicating with each other in our daily as well as professional lives. Let it be government sector, let it be private corporate sector. It's quick, it's up to the mark, very efficient. We don't have to wait for the postman to come and deliver. We don't have to go to the courier office. Then we don't need to write a letter and then post it, add a stamp to it, and then go there. So here we are for email writing session, which is always been now a very integral part of our day-to-day lives today, and now it has become a part of the course curriculum for various classes. So I begin with email writing class, or we can say a session. Now to begin with, we can say there are 4 types of emails. The marker could be bad. So there are 4 types of emails. The very first one is a no reply email, which means there are system generated emails which we keep on receiving, and sometimes we refer them to go directly to the spam. We don't need to actually go and see and read and then delete. So that means such kind of mails, or there are some emails regarding your loans, your EMIs, which you just need to read and maybe delete or store in the red box rather than answering them back. The next category would be the inquiry email. Now, as the word inquiry goes, it means someone is asking you something, maybe an advice, maybe he's questioning you, maybe he's asking a answer from you. So that could be any type of inquiry. Then is an open-ended email. Now, what do you mean by an open-ended? We've heard of open-ended novels, of stories, of dramas. This open-ended email means the person who has written it to the other person, or to me, let's say, he wants to keep the conversation or the communication open. So that means maybe this time I may not be fruitful or beneficial for him, so maybe another time. Such kind of emails are open-ended emails. And the 4th one is action email. Now, action means when the aim and the goal is prompt. We need to take some action on it. Either we need to reply back, either we need to do a work assigned to us through that, or maybe our corporate thing, or maybe our official work, or a personal letter which needs to be answered. Now, how to begin writing? After we have seen that there are 4 types of emails, so the very first thing which comes to your mind is how to begin writing. Now, one needs to, as in the normal letters which we used to write, the postal letters, we must always begin with a line of thanks. You need to thank the receiver of the email. This will make them comfortable. Your one line of making them comfortable makes you more courteous, makes you more comfortable with them. Like you can write for a professional, or a corporate house can write, thank you for contacting us, or thank you for your prompt and immediate reply. Then you need to state the purpose of your email. Purpose is reason. Why are you writing the email? And that too in the very opening lines. I'm writing to inquire about your health. I'm writing to inquire about your company. I'm writing in reference with your demand for so and so things. So we need to understand we do not need to write long introductions. A long introduction is, something which puts the other person off. These days, in a hectic schedule, we do not have time for long introductions. We do not have time, you need to skip the niceties which we generally used to talk about in our earlier days, in our earlier, social life. We need to skip those niceties here. Now, people just want, what do they want from us in this email? Is in the very first line, they want us to tell you that what is the reason, what is the purpose of your writing the email. Now, mails, email or postal mail, they all must begin with greetings. At home, personal, as well as at work. So we can, a few greetings with which we can begin our emails specifically at work are, allow me to introduce myself. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. How are you? I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I hope you're having a great day today. Thank you for your help. Thanks for the quick response. Such kind of email greetings at office could be used. Then coming to the closing, which is also a very, very important part of the email writing. How to close the email. For professional closings, for your official work and professional closings, you need to write best regards. You can write best regards. You cannot write affectionately yours. That's not done because you may not even know the person. So best regards, sincerely, thank you. These words work in your professional endings. For your casual emails, the greetings which can be used in the end are best wishes, cheers, all such kind of very routine words which we use in our day-to-day conversation. For the formal emails which are completely to unknown persons, the closing are yours faithfully, yours sincerely. Now we've done the opening as well as the closing of the email. Now for the file attachments, which are almost an integral part of the email writing. Almost each and every email carries either one, maybe two, and many times a multiple of attachments. So whenever you are attaching a file to your email, make sure you inform the person to whom you are sending the email that there is an attachment there and he needs to check it. It needs to be very clearly mentioned in the email. Otherwise, many a times this happens that the person doesn't even bother to browse down and look at the attachment. And for asking the person to look at the attachment, you can say, I'm sending you the minutes of the meeting attached. Or you can start like, please find attached so and so document. I am attaching such documents, or I have attached such documents. Now something very important and very, very necessary to follow in email writing is capital letters need not be written at all. They are actually very, very derogatory. You should not use all caps, because if you're using all caps together, or the entire letter or the mail is in caps, it conveys to the other person, to the receiver of the mail, that you are either angry with him, or you're shouting at him, or if the letter is going to a multiple receivers, definitely that means you're shouting to all of them. And the very important second thing is that you should not use too many exclamation points. That again gives this impression that either you are showing you are shocked, your amazement, or you're in utter disbelief that what has happened. So it looks really odd. So it is very, very important that these two things need never be followed in the email writing practice. That one, I repeat again, All caps need not be used together, and exclamations should not be used frequently. Now, while writing a business email, we must take a few important points in mind, like spell check. Very important is check your spelling as well as your grammar. Grammatical mistakes, send your messages all wrong. So how to check these both things, spell check as well as grammatical check, is that you need to reread your mail and messages before sending them. And even if you need to, you can read them loud, because once we are speaking, we can understand if they're grammatically correct or incorrect. Then never write emails in capital letters. I've already told you. Use sentence case while emailing. Do not write in double spaced or three space, gaps. Always use sentence case. Thirdly, always double check all the names to whom you are sending the emails. The receivers, their names, their IDs should be double checked, and only then a business email should be sent. Now, once again, just to recollect a few things, I'm going to revise you and make you doubly understand the important parts of the letter. So once again, we begin with the start. As we've already done, we need to start by addressing the recipient of the letter. Recipient to whom you are writing the letter, and make sure for your business letters specifically, you need to address them properly, like Mr. or Mrs., Doctor, Attorney General, Barrister, whosoever he is, by designation for business emails. You must use their titles. Then you will only use first name of the person to whom you are writing the email if you are a very close friend or contact. I repeat, if you are very close friend or contact, only then you can use the first name. Otherwise, you are to address them by their title. And for women, it is very important, if you are not sure that she is Miss or Mrs., always write MS. Nobody feels bad with that. You need to be very clear about it. Now, talking about email etiquettes. Now, this is another one of those new cliche terms, which has come into being in this very century. As we say, we should have, drawing room etiquettes, bedroom etiquettes, dining etiquettes, social etiquettes. We need to have email etiquettes as well. So the very first one is be informal but not sloppy. Sloppy means do not laze around, do not go very slow in your conversation, in your matter. Just be a little informal if you are friendly with the receiver of the email. Then you keep your messages brief to the point. You're not going to write an essay where we need to give an introductory note as well as a body. We need to be brief to the point. Then we need to always keep, courtesies intact. We never need to be harsh, and never use a professional email contact for a personal reason. You should not. If you have a personal reason to contact the person of a professional body, then you need to either ask for a personal email, or you need to carry your formal etiquettes to the personal thing. Now, I need to tell you some mistakes which we commonly keep on making while writing emails, which are very common, very frequent, and we keep on doing them in our professional emails, like sending the email without a subject. We do not, we are in such a hurry that we forget to write the subject, or just give a one word to the email, and that's really, discourteous for the receiver, because he has to definitely open it and then go through the content and then understand that this is happening. And then again, the second mistake which we make is because of hurry, that we, taking the name clause, the contact list, hurriedly send it to the wrong recipient. to the wrong person. Then sending a very, very large attachment, which is either it is difficult for ourselves to send it to the other person, and then again the receiver is unable to download it because of its big size. So you need to ascertain that what size of an attachment is easy for you to send and what will be easy for him or her to download. Then, when you want to just reply to a single person in a chain of emails, you just say reply to all and send the emails, which is a very big mistake, or I should use the word blunder, which we make sometimes when we just need to send our message to one person of the group, but we send it to the entire chain of the people. Now, to sum up my lecture for today, I would like to give you a few tips, very important tips, which I've already given you for writing an email, but now I'm going to give you for choosing a professional email address. This is your first impression on the person whom you're asking to please send your email address to. So if your email address is non-professional, it gives you a big setback to your professional stances. So the very first thing is you must choose your own domain. We all know what is domain. We are an IT generation, so we all know. So you try to get hold of your own domain. Then second very important thing is you need to decide whether you need to include your name in your email ID or not. That is for you to decide, which is your prerogative. Third is that you use a standard email template. A standard email template such as your first name, then your site name or your domain name, and so on and so forth. Then very important next point is make it very easy to remember. It should not be so difficult that every time you have to tell someone your email ID, you need to rack your brains and tell the other person, oh, this is my email ID. I've made it definitely deliberately very difficult to remember. Next is avoid using nicknames in your email ID or even numbers. This is very, very important. Never use your nickname or your numbers in your mail IDs. Then is avoid using of suffixes or prefixes. Now suffixes and prefixes means as we generally in Punjabi say agetar and pichetar. So we should never use those. They give you a very uncanny feeling that what kind of a person is. And then you should always try to use some kind of a domain.com, which gives a very professional and professional touch to the whole thing. So these are a few things I've tried making you understand the importance of writing personal as well as private or professional emails, how to write, their body, their opening, their closing, etiquettes of email writing, and even how to choose a professional email address. Now finally, for your help, I'll be sharing with you a few slides as an example, and definitely a few examples, for your, you can say assessment, you can say your revision, or, so that you can practice, and if you want, you can send them to me on my comment section, or I can leave my email ID on it, so that if for any further help, you can always, comment on the video section below, the comment section below, and then we can get back with you with more of such helpful video lectures, so that the grammar and professional writing of English usage becomes as easy and as kind of a second nature with you as any of your mother tongues. Thank you. Have a nice day.